Hi, my name's Jazz, and tonight I want to ask you if you would make a choice about which sort of teacher you're going to be. Now, I'm assuming you're all going to be outstanding, obviously, but are you going to be the sort of teacher that does all the work and delivers the content and marks the work and gets the data and does the tests and is probably knackered at the end of all that? Or the sort of teacher that does that, or possibly not, but does that, but actually remembers why they went into teaching and has a real mind of advocating for the children in their care. I want to share a story with you about when I was 9. I'm the eldest of 6, but I only had 2 brothers then. One was 7, one was a baby. And we found a dog. I want to say we rescued a dog, but this dog was so manky and ill, and it looked like it had been dragged through a bush backwards and hadn't eaten for a week. I don't think it had the energy to run away from us. So, we rescued this dog and took it home and looked after it. And this was in the days when you needed a license for a dog, a bit like a TV. So someone on our street had grassed us up about not having a license, and we got a visit from the RSPCA. So the RSPCA came, knocked on the door, and I opened it. This house we lived in, the front door opened into the front room. The front room was where we were allowed at weekends, where we went. My biological mum was in the back room with the television where we weren't allowed to be. This front room was also used in the evening for drinking and drugs and sexual acts. So we'd come down in the morning and it'd be pretty rough. There's cans and drink everywhere, broken bottles, syringes, cigarette ends, lager spilt all over. The floor, the carpet has been stained, so it's been ripped up, and linos underneath, but it's all kind of bobbly and concretey. It's not nice. The walls are stained. There's a fireplace with tiles going around it with a 3-bar fire in, but only 1 bar works, and we're not allowed that on because it's too much money. And it's cold and it's dirty, and we're dirty. When we're straggly, we don't. We didn't own toothbrushes. I didn't have a hairbrush, and I had afro hair, so I used to use my biological mum's toothbrush to try and comb my hair out, which I knew if I ever got found out would be the end of me. So anyway, there was neglect, there was poverty, there was abuse, and we were in it. And this guy came in and he said, "Is your mum in?" And I said no, because she was in the back room, but she was spaced out, so she wasn't in. So he looked around the house, and I saw his expression move from one of kind of indignant, "I'm doing my job," to one of real disgust and anger, really. One thing about being a child growing up in an abusive home is that you learn to read micro-expressions. I used to think I was psychic when I was a kid because I could tell what people were thinking. But actually, I could just read facial expressions quite quickly. Because if you can do that, you can see when danger is coming and in your mind prepare for it in some way. So I could see that he wanted to hurt somebody. He was cross. And I was holding the baby already. I pulled my brother towards me. And we stood in this tableau in this room, like Oliver Twist extras in a play. We stood in this tableau of neglect with our dog. And he looked around the room and he looked directly at us and he said, "This place is disgusting. It's not fit for a dog to live in." And then he took our dog away. And I was 9. And I remember standing there thinking, these people who parent me, these adults in my life who parent me, are right. I am worthless. I am worth less than an animal. I am. And also, the second thing that realised, my brother turned to me and said, "Are they taking Lady away?" And in an effort to protect him, I said, "Yes, they're taking her to a family that can look after her." And in my head, I'm thinking, and why aren't they taking us? If it's not fit for a dog, why is it okay for me to be here? Now, the reason I'm able to tell this story, the reason I'm not dead, is because I was in school, mostly, and the teachers in school, they were good people, but some of them were spectacular people. They transformed my life. They stood beside me in this chaotic fire. And yeah, maybe they couldn't take me home at night. Maybe they couldn't make it all better, but they acknowledged that what was going on was pretty crap. And they believed in me. And they gave me disconfirming data that shook my perception of who I was and what I was worth. So much so that through this never-ending story of trauma and trial and this against-the-odds success, I went on to become a teacher because I wanted to pay it forward. I wanted to be like them for children like me and others. I wanted to be an agent of transformation. That's what I'd seen good teachers do. So, you know, I asked you a question, what sort of teacher you're going to be. Now's the time to choose. Now's the time to make the choice. Because the story I've told you, my story, isn't just my story. It's the story of children in your class today. It's the story of children you haven't even met yet. It's the story of children who will grow up in 30 years' time and will either sit here making videos for Teach Meets or will be on the street taking drug overdoses and struggling to just grasp the concept that they're worth anything. So make the choice. Find your why. And everything you do, stem it away from that. And if you are standing and saying, I want to be teacher B, I want to be the teacher that goes above and beyond and relates and engages with students and learners and has relationships and genuinely stands with them, then on behalf of every child who has survived because of teachers like that, because of you, I want to say, you know, thank you doesn't even cut it, but thank you.